team of UN inspectors have finally arrived at Europe's largest nuclear power plant in Ukraine.
That's right, but the Russians who do control the facility are threatening to restrict plant access. The Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant and surrounding area have been under attack in recent weeks. Officials said today fighting forced one of two operational reactors to be shut down. Russia and Ukraine blamed the other for putting the region at risk for a nuclear disaster.
CBS News foreign correspondent Debora Patta joins us now from Kyiv with more on this. Deborah, always great to see you. We've been speaking all week about the issues, just getting the inspectors into the country. Since then, there have been additional obstacles as they try to make it to the plant today. Detail for us just how treacherous the journey was for them.
This has not been easy at all, and that's an understatement, but they got there. They managed to visit the plant, and team leader Rafael Grossi says that the key things he needed to see, he saw. He's now left the plant, but some members of his team, I think around 5, have stayed behind to continue the investigation of the plant. But it has been so difficult just getting to this point. I mean, it's taken 6 months since, remember, that plant was seized at the beginning of the war. And this morning, it looked like it might not happen at all. Grossi and his team left very early, saying up until minutes before they left, there were reports of intense military activity in the area. But they'd assess the risks, he said, and they would proceed anyway. Now, let's give you an idea of what they are facing. They have to travel from Zaporizhzhia, which is a Ukrainian-held city, over 70 miles away from the nuclear plant, which is in Russian-occupied territory and is an active front line in this war. So they're going into a very dangerous area. The plant is also controlled by Russian forces, as you know. They were delayed for a very long time at the border today, waiting until it was safe to go in, as there was a lot of fighting in the area. And at one point, it looked as if Russian officials who control the territories would only give the team a day to do the work. But as I mentioned, we now know that is not the case, and some members of the team have stayed on to continue that assessment. So a very, very perilous journey indeed.
Right. And Deborah, tell us when we can expect to learn the results of this investigation, right? When will the investigators let us know if the nuclear plant is secure?
I think it's going to take a while. You know, the Atomic Energy Agency has been wanting to inspect the site for some time, but there's so much shelling, and it's, as I've said, it's very, very perilous. In the words of Director General Grossi, he said that the reason they're going there is to prevent a nuclear accident. So they are assessing damages. They are checking security protocols. The team that remains behind will hopefully do some repairs if possible. They're also going to speak to the staff there. Now, remember, it is controlled by Russia, but it is operated by Ukrainian technicians who are working there under extreme duress. There's even been reports of torture and abuse. We haven't been able to verify those, but just the very stress of it all, to have a foreign occupying power in charge of you, is not an ideal way for people working in a nuclear power station to be operating. So that's also part of the work of the atomic energy inspectors. And once they are finished, the idea is that there would be a permanent mission at the base. Ukraine wants it handed back to them and creating a demilitarized zone. It's unclear whether Russia will consider that at this stage. But what they are pushing for very, very strongly from both the Atomic Agency and, to an extent, Ukraine, is for a permanent mission to be at the base to ensure that all safety protocols. So we should possibly hear more about that in the next few days.
And Deborah, you wonder how likely that permanent base would be, considering the ongoing shelling surrounding it gives a whole new definition to a hostile workplace. This is literally the front line. Talk to us about the intense military activity which was taking place moments before the inspectors headed to the plant, and which I understand still ongoing this hour.
Yes, it's difficult to know when it stops and when it doesn't, but there were massive explosions this morning, exactly the kind of activity you don't want in a nuclear power plant. And earlier, Ukraine accused Russian troops of shelling Energodar with mortars and rockets. They posted images on Telegram of damaged, destroyed buildings, smoke going up. Now, this is the town where the plant is actually located, just a few miles from the actual plant. So anything there is very dangerous as well. Ukraine's energy body said that as a result of the fighting, one of the last 2 remaining operational reactors was shut down. But then at the same time, Moscow has accused Kyiv of smuggling in up to 60 military saboteurs, they say, who try to reach the area and seize the plant, and that Russian troops had taken measures to annihilate the enemy. We don't know what the truth is in any of this, but we do know that the fighting has not stopped, and it's been vicious today.
What a perilous situation. Debora Patta, thank you so much there in Kyiv, Ukraine. Thank you.
Thank you, Deborah.